Welcome to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. I'm Steve Gamache, and what we have this time is the DaoVua Classic V2 Santoku knife. These have a unique kind of story around them you can read on the website, but this is their kind of version 2. They're doing a better heat treat on these knives, but this is just a mono steel, one piece of steel construction, reactive carbon steel. Heat treat's not really specified, but I would suspect it's probably 59, 60, probably 60-ish. These tend to have better edge retention, and you can kind of tell it when you use them and sharpen them than the other previous lines that they've got on the site as well. But nice job on the steel on these. The weight and dimensions can definitely vary a little bit, and they put different handles on there depending on what they're making at the time. So the handles can vary a little bit as well. The weight on this one is 121 grams or 4.3 ounces. The edge length is about 163 or about 6.4 inches from the tip to the back of the heel. And the overall length of this handle is about 300 millimeters-ish. Spine thickness, these are not particularly thick knives. They've got a little bit of stiffness to them. The spine thickness at the back was about 2.2 millimeters above the heel. About halfway down I got 1.8. And then not a lot of taper on thickness until you hit the grind and then towards the tip. Not super skinny at the tip. And then here's what the edge looks like. So a little bit thinner down here. Height is about 46 millimeters at the back. And then the handle, they make really nice handles for these. They're just wood. You don't really know exactly what's in there, but it's an octagonal, kind of a thinner this way, a little taller this way. But their handles are actually, fit and finish on their handles is really good. They do a nice job on that, nice color combination. And then they've glued these up very nicely where the tang goes in. So nice fit and finish on that. They've got a little bit of rounding of the spine. They've done a nice job with the choil into the neck. So the fit and finish is good. Out of the box edge, I'm just going to give this one a 4, maybe a 5, probably more like a 4. You can definitely put a better out of the box edge than this one has. In fact, most of these you'll want to touch it up on the stones and put an edge on it out of the box. Let's see here. Let's do our beauty shot. So this is the right side of the blade as you'd be using it. You can see they're kind of not really embossed. It's kind of a screened on logo there. And then pretty much just kind of a fairly smooth finish to it. Kind of a built-in Kudauchi blacksmith finish to it. A little bit of hammer marks are all a little bit unique, but fairly flat. You can see some kind of texture to it as well that rolls into the grind. Here's the left side of the blade. These tend to be a little thick right behind the edge. You can kind of see if we can show that to you. The one thing that could probably help performance, the performance is not bad on these. I've got a couple of them I use, but the right behind the edge as they progress, maybe Mark can work to get them to thin that up just a little bit behind the edge. What these are really good for is they're nicely crafted, they're straight, the grinds are pretty clean on them, and they're pretty easy to sharpen, and they're not expensive. So if you want a knife that, you know, is good in the kitchen, but also you can practice your sharpening and not worry if you mess up a little bit, you know, as you're learning, these are pretty good candidates for that. In fact, they're very good candidates for that. Plus, they're cool. They're just kind of an interesting knife, interesting story behind the makers and the whole how they do them and such. Let's see here. Balance point. Right about there. So it's going to be a little behind a pinch grip, so it'll be slightly handle heavy, but still pretty neutral. And let's see what else. Pretty much I think we just have to look at the cutting board profile. I think I ticked all the other boxes on the review. Here we go. So this is what the cutting board profile looks like. Pretty low tip, very sheep's foot kind of point to it, so you're not going to get real high on a rock. They did sweep the tip up just a little bit right at the edge, but I'm getting right in there before the tip starts to want to dig in. Right in there. So it kind of just has a little bit of a flat spot towards the back, very low belly on this, not much upsweep at all towards the tip. So I can do that. I'm not going to rock real high stuff with this. Definitely a chopper, push-pull cuts, glide cuts. Tip draws would be great with this thing. So again, just an interesting knife. If you want to kind of tinker with the reactive carbon steel. This is not stainless by any means, so you gotta, and they tend to, just one other point, they tend to be very reactive right off the bat, so don't be alarmed or anything if you start cutting things, especially like onions. That'll create a real kind of brown patina on it, and you might even get some of that on the onion. So you may want to, if you're going to use onions or something, cut a couple of them first and just wipe the knife down, or at least one, kind of settle the knife down a little bit. But it'll patina very quickly, and once you get a patina going on, it'll settle down quite a bit. So this is the DaoVua Classic V2 Santoku knife from Chef Knives To Go.